A rainy return for the Trackwork show this week as we headed to Warwick Farm and braved the conditions ahead of Saturday's Eskimo Prince Stakes Day and the all-important Inglis Millennium for the 2-year-olds. We have all the latest from the trainers ahead of a big day. Well, Gaz, we picked the right morning to come back to Trackwork. It's absolutely hissing down with rain this morning.
Yeah, trouble with your spelling, is it?
I went to put a P in there and then I thought I should probably say H instead. It is raining a lot here.
It certainly is, and it's... You wake up, you hear it, you just think it's going to be a long day, and you feel for the riders and the strappers. You know, they're working tirelessly through this, but you know, we do need it, and hopefully it dries out by the weekend.
We talk about the late starts. We start at 5 a.m. now. That's only been on for the last couple of days. How are you finding it?
Well, we've always started at 5 a.m. and I decided, because our riders usually ride for other trainers before they get to us, that we would start another half an hour later so they get a chance to ride for other trainers as they've done before, and hasn't upset the routine of trainers they've been working for. So we start at 5:30 and it's been good. I think in the summertime I'm not so keen on it. I think particularly when it gets hot, it's nice to get the horses done and home and cool. In the wintertime, I can start at 8 o'clock. It'd be lovely to start a bit later, you know. So I think we should look at the seasonal thing as well.
Interesting points to raise. Let's have a look at some of your runners heading into the weekend. The first we'll touch on is NCAP. He's back in super order. 2
really good trials and obviously a pretty handy race. Tis Invincible would be hard to beat, no doubt, but I thought he trialled very, very well. He's a racehorse. He knows how to put it together on race day, and the 1200 at Randwick should suit him well.
And you're happy with how he's come back in? Obviously, we all saw those trials. He was such a consistent horse last preparation, just kept stepping up to the mark.
Yeah, look, he is very consistent. No, I just like the way he applied himself late in that trial. He was stretching out well, and you know, it looked like the old days when he was racing well. And I'm sure he'll put a good effort in first up. I'm looking for him to peak probably, you know, third up in the Randwick Guineas.
You've also got Flying Trapeze nommed for the Eskimo Prince. He was third in the Gold Coast Guineas. How's he travelled back?
He's travelled back really well. I've also got him nominated for Caulfield on the weekend. He's in a 1400 metre race there, and I'll see where the draw is. I'd like to keep him apart because I think he'll run well as well. But 7 furlong probably suits him more so than 1200. And yeah, the draw will probably you know, help me decide which way I go.
Horse I was really keen to ask you about is Tender Eyes, who we saw back at the trials off a bit of a break. He was super in his most recent behind Frilled, working to the line strongly. Yeah,
he's come back strong. He's a lovely horse. I think he's a good, solid Saturday company horse. He showed that he won a maiden Hawkesbury. His next start was in town, got beaten ahead on a Saturday. So he's a schnitzel. You know, they just keep getting better, and I've got a full sister to him for sale. So
how many shares we got left there, Gaz?
We've got plenty left in it. For anyone interested, come to porteliracing.com.au. But yeah, she's a beauty. I've had the half 2 Tender Eyes was obviously improvement. It was a great little mare from the Jerry and I, and this fella's trialled really well. So we're looking forward to seeing him during the carnival somewhere. He's certainly a big improver. He's just, since he's been gelded, he's a racehorse now.
And how are your 2-year-olds ticking along?
Got a few coming along okay at the moment. Shin soreness has been a big issue this year with the tracks being so firm. Yeah, it's been a little bit difficult getting them going, but I've got plenty of talent there, but it's just we're running out of time now. So next few weeks we'll know a bit more.
Firstly, I'll just ask you about Infatuation on the weekend. She's such a ripper little mare.
Yeah, she was very game. I thought at the 100 we might be in a bit of a few problems, but she really fought, and she's very game. She's good on her day. She's a high-class, well-bred filly, so we may go down to Melbourne for a race like the Vanity Saturday week.
For a little filly, or mare now, she takes a lot of racing and she just turns up every week.
Yeah, she does. She's been super. She's run some super races this preparation, and as a young 2-year-old too. So I still think maybe we're going to see the best of her going forward.
Now, you've got to stack in this week and across the week, Friday night into Saturday, so we might just touch on firstly Caballas, who we saw first run for you, and you just changed his gear up a little bit, but it looks like the pennies dropped with him.
Yeah, he's a very nice horse, very lucky to get a ready-made horse. Of course, Derby keep finding them, and he was a very good online purchase, and I'd love for this rain to go away. It's a pretty miserable morning here at Warwick Farm, so the better the track, the better for him, I'm sure. But we've got the rest of the week, and his work was good this morning. Probably not as dynamic as it's been on, and probably I've put that down to the wet track. But he's a lovely looking colt. He's got plenty of quality, and I think he'll run well in the Eskimo Prince. He is also nominated in the benchmark 78 1200.
You've got a few that are dual nom, so we might just touch on a couple of them. What are your thoughts with Ruperta? Where might we see her?
Yeah, a little bit tricky. She's in a couple of races on Saturday and also Friday night in the Evening Star. So we may accept and just weigh it up and have a good look at the gates, and we'll just see how it comes up. But she's running really well consistently. She was very good last time, and she's a good sort of handy Saturday class mare.
Another one in a purple patches, she's an A-lister. She's dual nommed for a couple as well. Will we see her in that benchmark 78 on Saturday?
Yeah, she'll go to the benchmark 78 1200. Tommy Berry rides her. She was very good on Australia Day here at Warwick Farm, and up to 1200 I think she'll be fine. She's had a couple of runs already, but she was explosive last time, so if she runs up to that, she should run well. Her work this morning was good.
Dynamic Impact, we see him back from Queensland. Will we see him Friday night or Saturday?
He'll go Friday night. He's a Canterbury specialist, which doesn't really make sense because he's a back marker, but he's 4 from 4 there. He'll try and make it 5 from 5. Molly Burke rides, so takes a fair bit of weight off.
A more victorious as well, we see line up on Saturday off a last start win at Randwick.
Yeah, another of the Derby Brigade, and he was very good first up. So he's in a couple of races, we'll just weigh it up. But his work this morning with Josh on was excellent. So he's really going well. I'm very happy with him.
The last one I just want to ask you about is O Tycoon, now in the Australian Bloodstock colours, who was, I thought, pretty unlucky not to win at Gosford last start. Will we see him on Thursday?
Yeah, he will definitely accept on Thursday. He is a horse that wants a good track though, so we're just mindful of that. His first up run was good. He's a horse that's always showing a lot. I still think we're going to get him to city level and hopefully even Saturday grade in time, but he's only had the one run this time in, but he's been in for a while, so hopefully the weather is okay up there.
And I saw your racing manager Luke Hilton before touching a horse, and I thought, he must be touching a good one there as he walked it across the wet track here. Was that one of your stable stars, Overpass? How's he?
Overpass is great, actually. Josh rode him this morning. He just went 3/4 and he went super, and likewise Osmosis. He had an easy gallop on the poly track and just thrilled with how he's going. And yeah, Luke, he's edging very slowly towards a pay rise, maybe 2042.
We were looking and someone said to me, that's got to be a good horse. Something's going on there.
Yeah, for sure. No, he's a good man, Luke. And of course, Rachel is going super in Japan too, so we're watching that with great interest. Great to see how well she's going.
He's not missing her too much. He hasn't been sooky in the mornings?
Yeah, well, that's just him naturally. No, he's very laid back. He's great to work with because he's very level-headed, unlike someone else we know.
Someone else we know who I just heard yelling on the phone before. Thanks, Björn.
Thank you. Great to see you here too. Where have you been, you guys? You know, you go to all these other B-grade tracks in Sydney. About time you come to where the best horses are trained with the best trainers.
Joe, big week ahead for the stable. You've got some of your big guns maybe returning. We'll ask you about them. The first is Griff and Tiz Invincible in the Eskimo Prince Stakes, both of whom have been trialling super.
Both had 2 trials, went very well in both. Come through trials very well. Griff is definitely a starter. Looking forward to seeing him back. Obviously, he's a Group 1 winner last prep. He seems to have come back a bit sharper. He did show that in both his trials. And then Tiz Invincible, I think she's improved since last prep. She's definitely a lot more mature. We have a light fingers on Saturday week, so probably leaning towards waiting for that, but I'll just make a call in the morning. Both have come back very well.
We talk about Griff. He's a bit of a laid-back customer when he's at home around the track. He doesn't, I guess, really show much, and then he steps out on trial or race day and he's a different horse.
He is. He's got a very good attitude. Like I said, he's very laid back, and obviously which is why you want to see, and then on race day is just a different horse.
I want to ask you about a few of your 2-year-olds as well. First off, in the Lonhro plate, you've got Growing Empire and Frobel Star, who we saw on debut in the Gold Coast. Will we see either of them line up?
Growing Empire probably likely to wait next week to get him started. Tried very well, leading to his first start. Frobel Star is likely to take a place. She ran a debut up in Queensland. She was very brave there. She's very straightforward filly, very willing. And yeah, she has a bit of maturing to do still, but yeah, it looks lovely. A race for her and the timing is ideal.
And 3 nommed for the Inglis Millennium, Apparate, Odinson and Qatar's Choice. Should they get a run, will they head there?
Odinson is definitely going there. It's probably the only one we'll have accepting there. It's been a plan, obviously. He won a nursery. He had a couple of weeks fresh and after that. And yeah, it's a good starting point for him. He's had 2 trials and yeah, looking forward to seeing him back.
And then we look ahead to this benchmark 78 handicap for the 3 and 4-year-olds. Nana's Wish, who we saw a last start winner on the Kenzo of a 1550. Will she line up?
Yeah, she's likely to go there. She'll have a lightweight there. Mile would be ideal. And it looks the right grade. She was very good last start. Yeah, she's a mare she'll have a bit of fun with. She's still learning. She's still doing a few things wrong. But every start she's improving. And she will just keep improving with time.
And Joe, I'll just lastly touch on a couple of your 2-year-olds. Spywire, he's back from Queensland now. Did he have any time off after the Magic Millions?
Yeah, he just had a week. We kept him up in Queensland for a week. Spent a week up at Colora. Yeah, his run at Magics was very good. Obviously, he was backing up. So we just gave him a bit of time. He's gone down to Melbourne now and get him ready for the Blue Diamond.
And then Qatar's Choice is an interesting filly by I Am Invincible. She's just had the 1 trial so far, but it was impressive. Will we see her step out again on Thursday?
Yeah, she has likely to have a second trial on Thursday. First trial at Rosehill was very good. Obviously, the filly has been showing a bit of ability at home. Very well-bred filly out of Fenway, and yeah, she's got beautiful action, great attitude, and yeah, looking forward to seeing how she trials on Thursday, and then be looking at heading to the races with her.
And do you have any races in mind for those who might want to watch and get a futures bet?
She's obviously just have to see how she tries, but she's in at the right time. She'll be ready to go after that. And yeah, there's plenty of options. Obviously, Slipper is always hard to rule out, but she's probably more filly for a race like the size in time. A touch further.
Well, Dave, before we get stuck into some of your runners across the week, I want to ask you about Winchat. He's such a talented horse, and you and I were just chatting. He's a stable favourite. Everyone wants to ride him Trackwork, but no one wants to be on him when he gets out to the barriers. But he's getting better.
Yeah, he's been a long work in progress, I might as well say. Beautiful horse to have around the stables, a good solid worker. You know, horse who's shown he's got talented and good ability. But yeah, the barriers are always a concern. Yeah, sort of. Your heart's in your throat when when they're standing in the gates, as hoping he's on his best behaviour.
And then Glint of Silver, another one who's, I remember you said one day he's like a horse who's always on red cordial. He's an older gelding now, but he's just, what's the best way to put him? An excitable horse, I suppose. I saw his head popping out over the stable door before.
Yeah, he's a unique character, we'll call him. Between him and Clear Choice, they've both got their quirks, and they're very likeable. Like they're not naughty, but they're just full of energy and want to get out there and have fun and play and want everyone to look at them. And they've obviously got the looks for it. And
he is back in work now?
Yeah, Glint of Silver's here. Clear Choice out in pre-training out at Wild Oaks. So yeah, they're nice horse having the stable.
And then you head to Friday night at Canterbury, and then you've got Oceans One, who's just starting to hit peak fitness now, ran behind She's an A-lister at Warwick Farm last start.
Yeah, very strong race last start. They run very good time in the race too, so getting to a track like Canterbury, I think barrier draw is going to be important for him. So big noms for the race, but he's in good order, he's working well, and I expect a good performance as well.
Then you head back up the highway on Saturday to Newcastle, where you have Over Ice, this mare by Kermadec, who is 4th up after running 2nd at Newcastle.
You're very ambitious for all this driving you got me doing. But Over Ice is in great order. She's a good run last start, and I think going back to a midway on Saturday's going to be a really good race for her, and 4th up into a mile. I think she's going to be hitting her peak fitness as well. She's a big mare. I think she carries herself at about 580 kilos, so yeah, I think 4th up's going to be right up her alley.
Maddie, firstly, I just want to ask you about French Endeavour on the weekend. She looks like she's come back in really nice order, a big prep ahead for her.
Certainly, yeah. No, her work going into Saturday's race was really good. Just the track probably didn't help us the way it was playing on Saturday, and she got a little bit too far back, that's for sure. But her last 400 was excellent, and she'll be better suited when she gets to 14 and a mile. So we were pleased with the run. It was a good starting point for us, so we'll see where we go from here.
But a couple of your stable stars trialling on Thursday. One of those is Buenos Noches. How's the big fella?
He's great. Yeah, no, he's He's come back in really good order. I think he's probably better than this time last prep. I think he's just going a little bit better. And he'll kick off either in the Expressway or the Oakley Plate, just probably a bit weather dependent and track dependent. So, but we'll give him a nice gallop Thursday and see where he's up to.
Looking ahead to the weekend, you've got Floating, who's a last start winner, and Royal Robbins both nom there for the Gardenia Handicap. Will we see them?
Royal Robbins definitely. Floating, he's also in at Doomben. So he may run here or there, and again, probably a bit weather dependent. He wants a track with a bit of given it, so we'll just see what happens with the tracks. He could possibly even wait till Saturday week over a mile too, so we just sort of put him in and keep our options open.
Frilled, nommed for the Benchmark 94 handicap. Great trials from her.
Yeah, no, she's a sharp trialer, isn't she? And we've been able to kind of keep her in her grades and take her through a grade, so now it's time for her to get out and mix it with some better horses, so we'll see where she's up to on Saturday, but I can't really fault her. Work's been good, trials have been good, so looking forward to Saturday. Yeah.
She had a lot of success in Melbourne as well, as a lot of your horses did last carnival. They just travelled and seemed to thrive down there. Yeah,
no, we did. We had a good carnival in Melbourne. Not really, probably with her, it was just race programming, just the races weren't here to suit her. So we went to Melbourne with her, but obviously we much prefer to stay in Sydney. So, but it does depend on the programs and how they fall. So she'll start off on Saturday and then we'll see where we go.
I'd just like to ask about Athelflaed as well, who we see back. She ran second in the Oaks. She's been trialling well too. Will we see her return this weekend or wait another week?
Yeah, not sure. Like, it's just, again, not a suitable race for her to kick her off in, and would much prefer to be here in Sydney running her. She may have to go to Melbourne. I don't think it's probably unlikely Saturday because she's going to get too much weight in that race. So we'll probably wait till the following week maybe. She might even be sort of second up in the Randwick Guineas and then go back to the fillies from there. But yeah, keen to get her started, but trying to find a race has not been easy.
Pretty exciting to have a handy team though heading into the Autumn Carnival.
It's great, yeah, no, we've got some really nice horses this year, and it's great to have the quality of horse we have, and just got to make the most of it now and try and kick a few goals, but happy with where they're up to, and they're all in good shape.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.